Hello and welcome to programming. This is video number 28. In this video I'll show you how to make a movie player using Java and JavaFX. This should be fun. By the way, I'm using IntelliJ IDEA, so if you use NetBeans it will essentially be the same process. I'm gonna be creating one class anyway, so here we go. File, new project. Next, let's call it movie player. Next and finish. In this project we'll be creating a new directory which will be saving trailers of the movie, and by trailers I mean one. So we're just gonna go to a YouTube website and then download a trailer. Let's go to YouTube and then let's search for trailer, and the movie name is called Sintel. Let's take that one and then download it as MP4. I'll pick that one, download it. Now let's put that inside the project, and then the folder called trailer, rename that. That's the name is too long, so rename it to Sintel.mp4. Save it. Stop YouTube from loading. That's about 11 megabyte. Now forget that we have the Firefox open. Let's focus on the IDE. Coming back here and then create a new package. Give it the name player. Create a class. The only class you're gonna have is movie player. This should of course be extending the application. When we alternate enter, please select the one from JavaFX and alternate enter again to implement the method called stage. Now let's leave blanket for now. Create a new main method called launch and give it the parameter. Now in this method, what we'll do is we're gonna be making a root node. The root node should be from JavaFX. Now create a new scene from the root. Give it a name scene. And then give it the width and the height. Let's say 400 by 400, and give it a background color which is black. The color background should be from JavaFX. Once we have that, we can set the scene and then set the scene to the stage and then show the stage. There's nothing much in there. When we run it, we should see a window of the size 400 by 400 with the black screen. Now to play a movie, here are the steps that we need to do. we need to first getting an object of the media. Let's call it media. The media should be from JavaFX, and referencing called trailer, and it's called Sintel.mp4. I hope that's the correct part for it. Once we have the grab the media, here's what we do. We're gonna have a media player. Let's call it player. Give it a media instance. The media player should be from JavaFX. And next, to show the movie, we're gonna need MediaView. Let's call it view. Put it a player in there. Why do I have two names? And then add the view to the root. Adding something to some node, we're gonna have to get all the children and then add the node to it. In this case, it's gonna be the view. Now let's try that. Okay, there's nothing happened because we haven't played the player yet. Start playing the player. It should be that. Anyway, as you can see, the size is not correct. What we need to do is we need to get the size and then set the stage to the correct size of the movie. Now to get the appropriate size, we can just basically get it from the media or the player. There is a method from the media that we can get the width and the height, but this, before the media is playing, the width is unknown, so it should be 0. So let me show that. If we actually run this, we're gonna get media.width is 0. Now just note that we can't get the width and the height of the media before we actually play it, or before the player is ready to play. So we need to get the width and the height of the media to set the stage. The good way to do it is to tap on ready stage of the player. The ready stage should be running a runnable. In this runnable, we should be getting the width and the height from the media of the player. Now the only problem to that is the player is not accessible. We can fix that by marking the player final. So now we can make the stage set size. Let's set minimum go with minimum width, and then minimum height. And the problem there is that the stage is not final. Doing that, we will give it the correct width and height of the window. Now let's set the title of the stage to be trailer player. Okay, movie player. Now we going to what we need to do next is we need to create a controller. The controller should be slide. Here's how we get the slider. Sorry, it's called slider. The slider should be inside a layout that should be span across the width of the movie. Let's mark that finals VBox. And we add the slider to the VBox. Then we'll add VBox to the root before we show it. What is the size of the VBox? Now the size of the VBox should be exactly the same size as the stage VBox. Set minimum size to be width and the 100. Let's try running it. VBox added to the root. Let's set the position of the VBox. Say 100 pixels from the bottom. Oh, okay, I know what's wrong with this. It's that we need to add the wheel before the box, so that the box is on top of the view. That's it. Now we're going to tie the slider value into the position of the movie. Here's how we do it. We're going to tap in. We're going to tap the player for current time property, listener. change listener. Now on the change listener, we're going to be setting, let's see, current. We're going to be setting the value of this slider. Before setting the value of the slider, we're going to need to set the slider minimum and maximum value. Okay, minimum should be 0 by 0. The value should be at the minimum, and then the maximum should be number of seconds on the media. So get the total duration from the player and then turn it into seconds. That's what all this does there. The slider should be marked final. Next, what we need to do is we need to set the slider to set value into current 2 seconds. Now let's see how we're doing so far. It moves along the slider according to the value changing of the current time on a movie. User can't click on the slider to change right now because it's not interactive. To make the slider interactive, here's what we do. Value changing. Property. Is that the one? Nope. So let's it's always changing. Two of the methods are accessing, changing the value of slide at the same time. But then if you want to tap in the slider, we should just tap in on the mouse click. So that's what we do. We're gonna be setting the mouse click even. So whenever the mouse click, it means that some user click on the slider. The slider should get the value. This will return the number of milliseconds on a slide, which will in turn be the position on the player. Now this method right here to seek the particular position need duration object. So we need to create duration object from the second. Something wrong in there? What does it say? Okay, one more. That should be fine. Now the user should be able to click on this slider. Click on the slider and change. Click on the slider and change, or drag it back, drag it back, Okay, that's good enough for the slider. But then let's tap to one more stuff inside the MediaPlayer. This is all the movie controller you have. From now on, from this point on in the video, it should be showing you how to add audio spectrum inside your controller. This is how I get it to work. So first we're going to be adding an edge box with the space of 2 and rectangle, array of rectangles, which will represent the number of bands, audio bands in the player. So that's band. We're gonna be getting the rectangle from JavaFX. Now, to create it, here's how one way to do it. Rex at I equal new rectangle, and that's it. Add the rec to edge box, probably set the colors for the rectangle. Green, yellow, let's say, before we add hbox to VBox. This is just to add the hbox to VBox. Just attach the spectrum into the controller. Now, when all of these are ready, we can set the width and the height of each of the rectangle. Here's what we do. Hbox. Width to be W, and then band width, the width of the band should be W divided by number of bands. For each of the rectangle. Set the width of the rectangle to bandwidth. Possibly set the height to be something. Now, let's see what we have so far. That's what we have so far. Now we want to tap the height of the each of the bands into the actual spectrum of the player. So here's how we do it. We're gonna tap in player.setSpectrumListener, the AudioSpectrumListener. That should be the magnitude of it. So just for each of the rectangle, we're gonna set the height into H. By the way, the magnitude of the spectrum can be negative value, so we just make sure that it's not negative by make sure that H by adding the magnitude by 60 or 65 something, and we're gonna set if the height, we're gonna change the height of the rectangle if the height of the rectangle is greater than 2. That should be it. As you can see, when these spectrum value is changing. Anyway, in this video you don't hear the music of the movie, the trailer, because my microphone is far away from my headset. If you want to hear how it sounds, you're gonna need to try it on your machine. So one more step before we go. We don't want the controller to be showing to the user all the time, so we just have to add the animation fade, slide in and slide out. So that should be final. The animation should be a timeline animation, slide in, controller slide in animation, and slide out. Now we're going to be creating the keyframe for these two animation in later, but let's add let's tap in on mouse, enter, set on mouse, enter. On mouse enter, we're going to be calling slide in.play, and on mouse exit, we're going to be calling slide out, not play. Now adding the keyframe to it, here's what we need to do. We need to set it on in here, on ready, on player ready. So the animation should be slide in. Two keyframe in here, one is at 0, the other one is at 300. And for each of the keyframe we're gonna have key value, 2 key value to it. The first one being the key value should be from JavaFX. The first one should be from translate Y property. That should be at hedge. And this should be the opacity property. This should be from invisible. To 100 pixel up and 90% invisible, 90% visible. That's the slide in, and then for the slide out, we gonna have to reverse this. Meaning that we're gonna be sliding out from 100 pixel up and 90% visibility into invisible to the bottom. Running this should give a nice looking animation from the controller. So when a user put the mouse in, it would just sliding up, the mouse out, it would slide down. And the controller should work fine if the user click on the slider. Okay, now that's it for video number 28. How to make a movie player using Java and JavaFX. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.